the way that we as just, Christians in the 21st century, the way that we have come to start doing theology as disconnected from philosophy, or really even disconnected from our past. The way that we're doing theology has unfortunately and kind of accidentally been influenced by by ideas and trends in modern, higher education. This sort of chronological snobbery. When I was going through seminary, I was almost never required to read something that was more than 100 years old, right? So there's a chronological snobbery there, but there are many things in the past that are as valuable and relevant then as they are now, right? Or now as they were then. There are some things that don't need to be said twice, and that the best we should and can do is to keep them alive. Something like the Nicene Creed. We don't need a second Nicene Creed. Of course, there's a tradition that continues on from that, which I encourage anyone to look into our specific confessional subtracts to our pastoral emlet. Even if you don't sign up for a full emlet and for the pastoral emlet, I encourage you to look at those classes and how they enrich our understanding of our own specific traditions, how they're connected, how they relate to other traditions, the similarities and the differences, and how they're rooted in the past. And even there's a tendency, even among those who do look to the past and to tradition, to think that our theology kind of starts, in 1517 with the beginning of the Reformation. It's like, well, the Reformation didn't come out of nowhere, and most of what the Reformation was doing was not to sort of start from scratch and reinvent the wheel. Most of theology was in continuity. I mean, it's still Christian theology in continuity with the past. And so this kind of continuity and studying of time-tested principles, it's like, it's like the common adage about history, right? Like, if you don't study history, then you're doomed to repeat it. And we see today we see old heresies popping up again, because even accidentally among very well-intended pastors or professors. And that's because we're not rooted enough in time-tested principles that are deeply biblical and theological and philosophical. And that is the value of Davenant. Davenant stands in that gap. There are resurgent efforts happening in a lot of other locations as well, in different magazines and different schools, but they are largely trying to fix already problematic systems. Or we started that way. We started fresh. We're kind of like a church plant. We're starting fresh while relying on standing on the shoulders of giants, rather than trying to fix an already broken train. But part of that is not to replace or be in competition to other schools, but to encourage other schools and institutions and churches. We're all networked together. The army of friends extends beyond Davenant Institute into a very broad network, because if this movement of recovering classical theism, if its movement is going to work, it's got to be bigger than just Davenant. But Davenant is a collection of those kinds of like-minded people. So come for a class, come audit, join for a full program to really be well equipped for ministry or for your own personal study. And that's what we're all about.